Hello, Joy Olson. Happy Halloween. We're here live from Blockbuster Fundraising. Trick or treat.
Hey, did somebody say trick or treat?
This is Mateo. And Mateo and I decided months ago that we'd try to have a little bit of fun on this Facebook Live. So this constitutes our fun.
Yeah.
Right?
You guys like my new hairdo? I just had it done. I just talked to Joy's stylist, and she really made me look good. You think it'll work with?
I don't think it will be. Well, I don't know. Maybe it would be a big hit. But this is. I was telling Mateo that years ago when I lived in Florida and I was a triathlete, so I was always out training on. When I trained on my bike, my long at least 25 mile bike rides, I would. On Halloween, I would put the green wig on underneath my helmet, and then this Halloween mask on, and that's how I would bike on Halloween.
Wait, you would ride around your bike with these on?
25 miles, as fast as I could go from Boca Raton up to Lake Worth, and then turn around and come back. Yeah, it might have been a little bit more. But anyhow, I got a lot of funny responses. Probably wasn't a really good idea. I might have skipped. Anyhow, we just thought we'd have some fun today along with our Blockbuster Live. So thank you, Mateo, for being a good sport and putting this on. But we have some serious information and ideas we want to share with you this very important week. October 31st. Sure, it's Halloween, but wow, this week is, you've got November and December. You've got 2 months left for your annual fundraising. And I know as a former executive director and development director that your annual appeal, your letter, your content, your videos, your stories, it's all just really right there for you to do right now. And I was telling Mateo the end of last week, I've started getting a lot of annual appeals.
Yes.
And I shared one with Mateo last week, and he had some thoughts about it too. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to share his thoughts as just a reader of an annual appeal, and my thoughts as a development director, looking it over, thinking, I like this, they did this, they didn't do that, and yakety yak. So, and we also wanted to compare it with an exemplary appeal we received the end of August. Yes. That was obviously a fall appeal that was so beautifully done. So, let's get started. Let's start with the one we just got last week, that is obviously the annual appeal. And I will tell you some of the things that I really liked about it and didn't like. And first of all, they addressed me as dear friend. Oh. And I'm a donor to this organization. And I've donated a meaningful gift. The reason I donated that meaningful gift was it was in honor of a dear friend of mine. So it was a generous and meaningful gift. But now you probably weren't offended by dear friend.
Only when we talked about it and I realized when you enlightened me. Just from my perspective, oh, dear friend, that's great. But
you're a dear potential friend.
Yeah, exactly.
They haven't.
I'm not donating.
Well, you might have if you would have. Well, we can find some other places. Okay. So they start out with a question, but here on the top of the page, they have a picture of a little dog. Everybody that knows me knows I love dogs. I have 4 of my own, and they name her, but they don't. It's many paragraphs. Yes, exactly. Many paragraphs. I don't think they mention Bonnie until clear the bottom. So I'm wondering what Bonnie's story is.
Right.
So, but they do ask me a question. They say, how can you identify a real animal lover? Well, I wish they would have said, do you want to know what happened to Bonnie and how we helped her?
Like right away.
Yeah. Yeah, because in the letter we loved so much this summer I want to show you. They started out in their, thank you, in their envelope that I got, and they've got the picture of the animal right on the envelope, and they say to me, Maggie's life is better because you cared.
Front and center, right?
Yeah, front and center. So now I'm wondering, what happened? What's the story?
Who's Bonnie?
Okay, so now in the second paragraph, they tell me that they think that I am an animal lover.
Do you?
They think I am.
They think you
so
are?
they've sent me a free gift. So I don't really, I really don't want the free gift. And as we've mentioned before in our Blockbuster fundraising tips, tchotchkes or presents really are not appreciated by too many donors or even potential donors. It's just something that they've got to get rid of or use or give somebody else or figure out. They have to figure out something to do with it. And so I didn't like that really at all.
Often those things become dusters. They just sit and get dust, and kind of just get in the way.
Yeah. So now I'm a dear friend, and I'm kind of skimming down trying to look for what Bonnie's story is, because I love a story. The story is what's going to make me read this letter. Probably, truthfully, if I weren't a development director by this point, I would have kind of tossed the letter.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I just don't want to read all this stuff.
It's a lot.
Because they talk about stuff that's going on nationally. They talk about people and a blanket statement on animals and people. And then they talk about how they're on the front line for animals. And then they talk about my free gift. And then they talk clear at the bottom of the page, quite a few paragraphs, maybe 8. They say, if I am really an animal lover, I probably will want to donate $25 or more now. Okay, so here I am. I'm a friend, but actually I'm a donor, and I'm a current donor of this year. And now they don't refer to my past gift or anything wonderful that we've accomplished together because of my past gift. They're asking me for $25, which Mateo is, it's 10 times less than my gift. So, you talk about year-end appeals. If somebody sent you a meaningful gift, you try to upgrade. You don't try to take them down 10 levels. So why would they do this? So I say, if I were inclined to give them a year-end gift, I get off easy.
You're right, exactly. It's like they don't even know it's you. Like they're not personalizing this really at all.
They don't have a site of study. They haven't segmented me. This is like a blanket gift. And so finally on the back of the second page, they finally say, believe it or not, Bonnie's life was not always picture perfect. Well, anyhow, this is not a letter that I love.
Right.
So I would say to you, and we've talked about this before, and you've heard it so many times as you help me put these programs together, before you write your perfect content and your great letters and your wonderful stories, segment your database. You could take, maybe this would be the most beautiful letter in the entire world, but still you haven't segmented me out to the point that you can personalize it all. You haven't said joy. You haven't referred to my last gift. You didn't say, you can't believe what good we've done together with that last gift, the impact it's made. You haven't tried to upgrade. And you sure as heck haven't gotten me intrigued with a story. So I'm not intrigued in any way. And you to intrigue or interest your current donors, you must segment them out. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it's so important. And I just learn every day. And I'm learning how important segmentation is. Like today, especially when we were talking about these two letters. It's crazy.
Well, I remember the end of summer when we got the letter that we love so much. We also got a new welcome packet from Save the Children. Yeah. And my gosh, even a new welcome packet, it was my very first gift, was personalized. Remember, Joy, you're awesome.
Yeah.
And so you really must remember, as you put together your year-end appeal, take the time to segment out and don't try to have one letter for everybody. If you do, you're going to minimize your fundraising potential, believe me, because you have people that have been there for you through thick and thin, years and years. Maybe it's a smaller gift, but they want to hear that. Right. They want to say thank you for sticking with us. We know that you have probably so many people clamoring for your philanthropic dollar, and we're so glad that you've stayed with us, because together we're doing this and we're doing that, and we couldn't do it if you forgot us. And if they've given you a larger gift, you want to make sure that you give them the impact of that larger gift, what you can do. And I think it's a perfect time to say your generosity has made such an impact because we've been able to do so much together. And also, your generous gift at this level makes us feel like there's a chance that you'd like a closer relationship. We could do more. And so suggest a little bit higher gift, because if you send this much or send this much and make it monthly payments, this is what we can do. Take the opportunity to upgrade. Now, you're not going to do that with a brand new donor, so you got to have a new letter, a different letter for a new donor. And that doesn't mean, Mateo, that you can't use the same video or the same compelling story, but you structure it to that particular audience.
So for just a little bit more time, you're actually saving in the long run a lot of time and money, really, in your nonprofit.
Well, here's the deal. This is not the time of year to minimize any effort as a fundraiser, because really as much as 50% comes through the doors in the month, these last 2 months, even the last couple of weeks in December. So it makes such a huge difference how your content is structured, the attention that it garners, the heartfelt story that connects you, the call to action. Is there a sense of urgency? Do you have a matching gift? Do I feel personally connected? You want to make it compelling in every way, and you can't do that. It's like, I know you, if I sent you a letter about saving the trees, I probably wouldn't capture your attention.
I do like trees, but she's right.
Well, in Oregon, we do have a lot of tree lovers, but I just have to...
I get it. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you have to connect with what that person, what that donor likes. And I don't mean each and every individual, but you can segment your donor base to certain segments, maybe 5 or 6. And all you have to do is tweak the introduction. Just tweak it to make it personalized for them. And then with all the software programs, I mean, it's easy. It's easy to pull out the name, Joy, your last gift. I mean,
and have it do it automatically for you.
Your software does all that for you. So you got to take advantage of your software programs.
Even in the Stone Ages with technology, it doesn't help usually.
No, not nowadays.
No.
So I know you read through this letter and you had some thoughts.
I kind of wrote down a few notes, and I was just thinking, like, from my perspective, from a person that's just looking at a letter, and, oh, cool, dear friend. I thought, oh, that's nice, but I hadn't given to this particular organization, and I would have probably thought, man, I gave $200 and they're asking for $25. Well, that's easy. I can do that. Yeah, exactly. If I was in your shoes, I would have the same feelings. I'd understand. You know, and I think they did some things that like caught my eye. They used bold text. They used italic in the right places. They mentioned Bonnie when they finally got to her, which I thought the same thing when I was reading all the intro. I was like, blah blah blah. Wow, they're really just like telling me about their organization. If they had segmented you, they would have assumed that you already knew because you already gave, and so they would have just went straight to the punch, which was.
In other words, they didn't have to sell me again on their organization.
For me, though, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool because I hadn't looked into this organization, so I was like, oh, this information is good. So for me, that would have worked, but for you, it doesn't. It didn't make sense when we were talking about that. Let's see what else.
That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, like
Well, you felt, and like you said, you felt their branding was good. They mentioned their organization 20 plus times.
I mean, it was like in every sentence almost.
Do you remember how often they made the ask? Because this is another point in your appeal. Don't save your ask until the very bottom. Now, they did ask on the front page,
but it's
one,
bottom.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the 9th paragraph. So you want to get your ask in. You want to let me know what you're after, and that's why you tell the story. You know, like this, Bonnie needs your help right now, and here's what we have to do. And we have to do this within the next 90 days. And we need this amount, and we're really hoping that you can help us make this happen for Bonnie, because without you, it's not going to happen. So you want to, that's why you put this image up on top, so you can refer to it and make your first ask right away. Then to ask again on the bottom of the first page, that's okay. And then you ask again in later on in the letter. You want to ask at least 3 times.
And they did do it, but it's on both times. It's at the very bottom.
Exactly. And they never spoke about upgrading at all.
No.
They stuck with their low gift of $25.
They may have spoken about upgrading on this little bottom slip, but
yeah, they do.
But it wasn't really speaking. It was just leaving the option, at least.
That's right.
On the other side of it.
So I think we've hammered home some of our thoughts on one of the very first annual appeal letters that we got. And I think that at this point, we need to go back to a letter that we love.
Superb.
Isn't it?
I just love that picture.
And it starts out, great picture. But it starts out, Dear Joy, Maggie sensed something was wrong. Oh my gosh.
What's going on? What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Maggie.
What's wrong with Maggie? I've got to help. So then it tells the story. It tells the story in the first paragraph, second, third, fourth, and guess what? Then all of a sudden, the 5th, I'm thrilled to tell you that we had success. And then the 6th, your support really created this amazing opportunity. And then they go ahead and they ask me, please donate again today to make this opportunity happen for another Maggie. And then they tell me that they need that gift by September 30th. I got this letter the very 1st of September.
Wow, yeah.
So create a sense of urgency with your call to action. I think that's one of the most important things that besides your image and your story, you want to get your call to action centered around that image, that story, ask early, and then give it a sense of urgency. How do you feel about that?
You're 100% right. I mean, you're the pro. She's so good at what she does. I mean, you got to listen to what she has to say.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Also, in your annual appeal, too, and they referred to it in their fall appeal, make sure that you mention that their gift is tax deductible. Do you see where your microphone is?
Yeah, it'll be good, though. It'll be good. This is the original.
Trick or treat.
This was the original
We have
plan.
no sound.
No, this was the original plan, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right.
We're good.
So we hope that you can hear us.
Yeah.
And we hope that this particular Halloween trick-or-treat, let's have some fun, broadcast live on Facebook, has presented some ideas for you for your content for your annual appeal, because we know how important it is, and we're always worried for you. We try to extrapolate from every resource and source that we have the best of the best information to get it to you, and especially get it to you in time for your year-end success. So, Mateo, are you going to go trick-or-treating tonight?
I don't know. Maybe. I'd have to put on a mask, though, because I'm sure I get to the door and they would be like, where's your kid?
Where's your kid? So, I'm the kid.
I just walk on my knees. Trick-or-treat!
Well, I think that we live in this particular spot where no one comes, so I'm
You're set.
Yeah, we don't get any trick-or-treaters, which I miss. I have the 4 Westies, and I have a bunch of costumes for them. So I might take them out on a little dog walk with their little costumes.
Good idea.
Yeah, that'll be
cute.
fun.
Maybe they can go trick-or-treating.
Yeah. Well, we wish you a very happy Halloween. We wish you a great fundraising week. We know as you get into November, you've got so much to do, and we know that everything you do is strategically important. So we will keep trying to bring you the best of the best, and hope to see you again soon. Guess I should remind them that blockbusterfundraising.com and joyolsongroup.com are 2 places where you can go for a lot more information. And we have hundreds of fundraising videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Many.
Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest.
We're there with the fundraising tips that we hope will help you to blockbuster fundraising success in 2017. Bye-bye.
See you later. Trick or treat. Happy Halloween.